All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is June 20th. Happy Tuesday to everyone out there. And we have a jam-packed MLB slate to jump into today. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every game on the slate. I'm going to talk about the games. I'll give you my lean or leans on the games. But all my final plays, those will be in the pinned comment, and I update that throughout the day as I lock them in. So if you want to ride with me, you can go ahead and check those out. Or if you want to fade me, you can go ahead and check those out. Those all will be in the pinned comment as I lock them in myself. Before we do get into it, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. We're almost at 25,000 subscribers, which is like mind-blowing to me, but I can't get there without you guys, and we can't get there without you guys. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. Let's run up the likes in today's video. And before we do get to the games, I do want to talk to you guys about Sleeper, the new DFS player prop app that I've been on a lot lately, guys. I know I talked about it in a couple videos last week. It really is cool. They differ from the Prize Picks of the world with their dynamic payouts. You can win up to 100 times your money on an entry. It is very, very cool. You know, the odds of something hitting, obviously you get more of a payout and more of a multiplier and that type of thing. So it is a very, very cool app. I highly suggest check it out. Use that link in the bio. And if you do want to deposit, you're going to get 100% of your first deposit matched up to $100. You put in 100 smackarooskies, they're going to give you 100 free ones. You'll have a new count balance of $200, which is awesome, guys. Really good deal, really cool app to use, and very, very fun. So make sure you go check out the Sleeper app. We'll be posting a Sleeper slip later on on both TikTok and Instagram Reels. I might throw it up as a short as well, so keep an eye on that. We have all my socials right here throughout this the video here if you do want to check those out, because we'll be throwing out a Sleeper pick and a Sleeper slip app play later. So make sure you go check that out, guys. And I do, again, highly suggest you sign up. It's legal in a bunch of states, which is also great. You like to see that. So guys, go check that out. Use that link in the description as well as the pinned comment, and you guys get 100% of your first deposit matched. All right, guys, first game on the slate is going to be the Phillies taking on the Braves. Both these teams are red hot. Now, they're coming off of kind of easy series. Phillies coming off of sweeping Oakland, nice, but they have had, a couple decent series as of late. That's kind of been tough. Atlanta has won 8 of their last 10. They won 6 straight games, with their strength of schedule just really hasn't been there. They've gone from Colorado, from Washington to Detroit to Colorado most recently, so not exactly battle tested or tried and true. They do have Spencer Strider on the mound today, who's obviously a stud, but his last few starts have also not been that great. So I might be kind of crazy, but I do think that because one, they haven't been battle tested, and two, Spencer Strider has had a couple bad starts, I do think the odds are actually pretty favorable here. At -145 on the Braves side of things, I think the Braves are way better, at least as of right now, than the Phillies. Are the Phillies hitting their stride? It could look like it. I don't want to deny that, but I do still think this is a brave spot. -145, a little bit of juice, but I expect this bounce back spot from Spencer Strider here. And then in terms of a total 8.5, yes, I'm expecting a bounce back from him, but these two offenses, when they are cooking, obviously the Braves offense has been absolutely clicking. They've covered overs here in 7 straight games and in 8 of their last 9. The Phillies have been kind of up and down, but I do think if the Phillies can go out there and give you 4 runs, it's a really good chance of this overhitting, because I don't think this Atlanta offense is going to slow down anytime soon. So I know I want Strider to kind of go out there and deal today, but he can still go out there and deal and let up 2-3 runs. Bullpen comes in, let up a couple more, that type of thing. So I'm going to look for the over here. But again, my predominant lean is going to be on the Braves at -145, just because I'm anticipating a bounce back spot from Spencer Strider today. All right, we got the Rays taking on the Orioles here. Rays coming off of losing 2 of 3 against San Diego. They are -175 here still at home. Glasnow's on the mound for them. He's 2-0 with a 3.43 ERA. Bradish on the mound for the Orioles, 2-3 with a 3.9 ERA. They played earlier in May here. The Braves actually took, only one of those games as well, so they don't even have the track record here. I do think it's obviously a bounce back spot for them, coming off 2 straight losses, but they've lost a few games in a row this season already. I just don't think it happens again today. You have a Baltimore team that's on the rise, and you have a Braves team that's seemingly on the decline, yet the odds still are -175 in the Braves' favor. So I do think Vegas knows the Rays are going to come out here, or not knows, but predict that they're going to come out here and win this game today, and I'm aligned there. The only problem is that -175 really does not tickle my fancy, so I'm probably sticking away from that, but I also kind of take a peek at an over in this game. Yes, this Tampa Bay offense has actually been inconsistent, which is weird to say because they're an offense that has been rocking and rolling all year long, but same thing with this Baltimore offense, inconsistent. But I do still think, coming into a game like this, I think the last time they played, They had low-scoring games as well, so it's almost like they're ready to go off because both these teams do have hitters in the lineup. I like that Baltimore offense. A couple guys on there I do really like, and then Tampa Bay obviously has had the offense all year long. So I look at the over here at 8. That's probably my predominant lead in this game because I think that the Rays do come back and win this, but -175 is not an individual price I'm willing to pay. All right, Detroit taking on Kansas City. If these series aren't individual classics or instant classics, I don't know what is. Detroit are favored in this one, -145. They won yesterday by way of a score of 6-4. This one, I'm just going to look at the under. I don't think either one of these two teams are all that talented. On the mound, Lorenzen for the Tigers. He's had some good starts, had some bad starts. Daniel Lynch on the mound for the Orioles, 0-3 with a 5.79 ERA. I don't want to entertain really a side in this game just because I think anything can happen in a series like this, but I do like the under. I don't think a lot of hot bats are coming out of this, and the fact that we had a 6-4 game in game one tells me there's going to be a little bit of regression. So I'm going to lean towards the under, kind of moving quickly through this game, but it is what it is. All right, 11-0 was the score of this game yesterday. Miami blows out Toronto, and they're favored in this game again. I know we don't have it on the graphics, but they are favored ever so slightly, -112 over on FanDuel. Toronto sitting as underdogs at -104, but still essentially a pick 'em here. This Miami team looking good. They took 3 straight against Washington, and now they're off to an 11-0 win in game one of this series. I expect them to carry that momentum. If you're on the Toronto side of things, I wouldn't take what I'm saying and say, okay, you know what, Miami's definitely winning. No, I do think this is going to be a pretty evenly matched series, and I keep telling you guys, I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but I do think this Blue Jays team has a big run in them this season at some point. So I don't think it happens today with Eury Perez on the mound for the Marlins. I like this spot. I think that they have the momentum coming off of yesterday's 11-0, but I do think that, the Blue Jays, obviously, if those bats get off, some of those guys step up. Obviously, they do have a couple guys banged up, but nothing too notable. I do think that, obviously, they're good enough to beat this Marlins team. In fact, if it wasn't 11-0 yesterday in that game, I don't know if Miami would even be favored in this spot. I think they were like +150 yesterday in terms of odds, but nonetheless, they do have the momentum. They do have who I would say is the hotter pitcher right now as Perez goes up against Kikichi, who's 6-2 with a 4.31 ERA. So I like the Marlins in the spot, but it really is kind of I might just leave it as a lean because I do truly think that this Toronto team is due for a streak at some point. I don't want to be behind the 8 ball when that happens, taking the Marlins, who are coming off of an 11-0 win, and it's like, oh yeah, take the Marlins. They rolled them yesterday. All of a sudden, that's all the Blue Jays needed to get right in the head and type of thing. I do like the over 8 runs. I think this Toronto team, like I said, has good bats in the lineup. They're not going to give you 0 runs again. I think they're coming off of, was the game 3, they had a high-scoring game against Texas. I think they come out and score a decent amount of runs today, and I expect Miami to still score some runs off Kikichi here. So I think this one's probably going to end in double digits, maybe like a 6-4, 6-5 type ball game, hopefully in favor of Miami. So I'm going to lean towards the over 8 runs as well. All right, guys, are the Cubs finally rolling what we've been waiting for so long now as they take on the Pirates today? They got the 8-0 win yesterday in game number 1 of this series. On the mound today for the Cubs is Marcus Stroman, and Oviedo's on the mound for the Pirates. Marcus Stroman 8-4 with a 2.45 ERA. But remember, he started the season pretty poorly. He's finally starting to kick it into gear. Oviedo, has been up and down. They've lost, and he has 2 losses in his last couple starts. I'm going to lean towards the Cubs here. 8 out of their last 10, they have won. Pittsburgh has lost 7 straight games in 8 of their last 9. I wish the Cubs were underdogs. They've been underdogs plenty as of late on the season, but yeah, maybe they're starting to turn the corner now and getting back to winning baseball. So I lean towards the Cubs. I also like the under in this game as well. You have some wind coming in. It's going to be, 70 degrees in Pittsburgh, 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing in. I think this is going to be a game in which we see probably more of like a 4-2, 4-3 type finish, would sit about a run under that total. So I like that as well. Hoping Stroman goes out there and deals today because, again, he started to get better. Let's see it happen. It's a great spot for him against the Pirates here. All right, St. Louis has won 3 straight here, including game 1 yesterday in this series. They win 8-6. Washington sitting as +130 dogs at home. Mackenzie Gore on the mound, 3.74 ERA with a 3-5 record. Montgomery on the mound for the Cardinals here, 3-7 with 3.91 ERA. He's actually been looking really good as of late, but Mackenzie's coming off of a nice start himself in his last one. 5 2/3 pitched against Houston, 0 earned runs, a 1.23 whip. I do think that he carries that momentum in here, and I think, I'm going to lean towards where the value is in this one. I think the Cardinals obviously Yes, they've won 3 straight games. I wouldn't really give them the most amount of credit in the world, as they took 2 of 3 against the Mets and they took 1 against Washington. When they start beating really good teams like they were when they went on that streak early in the year, I'll give them a little bit more credit. But right now, minus 145 for a Cardinals team, I really just don't see that. That's the same price as an Atlanta team that we talked about at the start of the video. You know what I mean? So I don't think we're there yet to pay that much juice for a Cardinals, meaning by default, I am going to look at this Washington side. I do think that this is a good spot, just with McKenzie going on the mound. If he goes out there and can pitch like he pitched against Houston, a start back, I do think they have a good chance of winning this one. Does it make it into a final play? Probably not, because I do think this Cardinals team is better. I just don't want to justify, and I can't justify the minus 145 odds. And we're looking at a total of 9 runs in this one. I'm going to need to see, I think, a little bit more consistency than just one game in this series out of both these offenses before I look at any sort of an over. And 9 is fairly high for me. So I'm going to lean towards the under here, especially when I'm hoping that one side of the pitching actually steps up today. I'm going to like the under. And again, I want to see a little bit more of consistency from both these offenses before I start considering an over in this series. All right, guys, before we do continue on with the slate, I want to talk to you guys about Sleeper. I've talked to you guys about them plenty, and I stand by everything that I've said. It's my favorite sports betting research tool. Super, super visual and consumable. Green is good. Red is bad. You can look at all player trends, team trends. They pull out insights and trends that you normally wouldn't be able to find yourself easily. They make everything very easy. They do the heavy lifting. If you want to go check it out, you can use the link in the description, a 7-day free trial. I'll also put it in the pinned comment. The worst thing that happens, I keep telling you guys, the worst thing that would happen here is if you go sign up for the 7 days being like, 7 days for free, right? And then all of a sudden you fall in love with it, and you do ultimately get stuck with the $19.99 per month after that. But guys, if you hit a couple plays with Sleeper here, it pays for itself like that. And I do highly encourage you guys, if you can, go check it out. Again, 7-day free trial in the description, as well as the pinned comment. All the comments we're getting of, wow, I wouldn't have been able to find this play without the Sleeper app. I wouldn't have been able to do this. I love the Sleeper app. This thing is amazing. It's paid for itself. I love hearing that, because I don't want to promote something that you guys don't like. But the resounding response is that Sleeper has been crushing it for everyone, and they do like it. So, shout out to the Sleeper guys. They've been super, super communicative with me, and it's a great partnership thus far. Go check it out, guys. Again, that link is in the description, as well as the pinned comment. Sign up for that free trial. You will not be disappointed. Let's go ahead and get back to the slate here. We have the Yankees taking on the Mariners. We have the Yankees trotting out Garrett Cole. Now, going up against George Kirby, Mariners have kind of been up and down as of late. They've definitely been, I would say, in the last week or so, a little bit hotter than the Yankees have been. But Garrett Cole on the mound, and you're only getting the Yankees for minus 130. Obviously, we're still missing Aaron Judge. That'd be nice to have in there. But nonetheless, I think it's a good spot for the Yankees. Garrett Cole, pretty much the only reason. I don't even want to act like I'm going to expand upon that. 7-1 with a 2.75 ERA. Coming off of a start in which, you would have thought they would get the win, but not much run support there. He only allowed 1 run through 6 innings pitched with 8 Ks and 0.67 whip. So he's feeling it. Kirby coming off of a really good start as well. So I'm going to look at the under here big time. It's 7 runs, but I still do think this one can sit under. I know. 7 runs, you're taking the under. Yes, you have 2 pitchers that are dealing. Kirby's last start against Miami, 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, a 0.5 whip, and 10 strikeouts in the win. So he was feeling it as well. Hopefully both these guys come in. A lot of swings and misses, not many balls in play today, and we cash in under. But again, I think the value here is getting the Yankees at minus 130 with one of the best, if not the best pitcher in the league on the mound today. All right, Red Hot Reds taking on the Rockies here. Reds coming into their 9th, or they've won 9 in a row. This could be their 10th in a row if they do catch the win. They're a little too heavily favored for me today to pull the trigger on, but I do still think that they get the win today. I just don't think that'll be making that a final play or anything like that. The total is sitting at 9.5 runs right now. Also, yesterday's game goes 5-4, hits the under, but I think this one actually kind of bounces back and goes over. I think Colorado scores a few more runs today, and the Reds continue to do what they do. I think this one gets up into the double digits. In terms of who's on the mound, Ben Lively on the mound for the Reds, 4-4 with a 4.07 ERA, and then Freeland on the mound for the Rockies. He's 4-8 with a 4.48 ERA. Again, it's a Reds spot. Will they cool off at some point? Yes. This Reds team isn't going to win from now until the end of the year and win the World Series or anything like that, but they're red hot, and they're playing good baseball. They're beating, good teams. They're beating bad teams as well, which is what they should be doing. So I kind of believe in this win streak for now. Do they go and win, 12 in a row? No, this thing probably ends pretty soon. But nonetheless, right now, I don't think it happens today. All right, Guardians taking on Oakland here. I don't think this one is anything more than some sort of a parlay play if you'd like to throw that in there. Guardians are at minus 225 right now. Way too big of odds for any sort of single play in this one. I don't really love the total either. It's sitting at 9, which I would expect this to be way, way lower. But the fact that it comes out here at 9, I'm kind of like, okay. It's a little shocking. We've seen Oakland's right around 8 to 8.5. We had a 7.5 total with them last game. Cleveland's been around that 9 spot, so obviously they think Cleveland's going to kind of dictate the pace of this game. Though it's tough to dictate pace in baseball, but nonetheless, there's still an element of, okay, if a lot of runs are being scored by one team, the other team's going to try even harder to score a lot of runs, that type of thing. But nonetheless, Cleveland spot in a parlay here. I like the under. I don't really look at this and say this is a really good spot either way. Like the fact that it's a throw-in parlay spot kind of shows where my stance is on this game. But yeah, guys, wanted to cover it, wanted to let you know what I was thinking. Just not thinking all that much. The gears aren't turning that much in this game today. All right, Red Sox, Twins. Red Sox get the 9-3 win yesterday. They have now won 5 straight games. They won 7 of their last 10. Cutter Crawford on the mound for them today, going up against Bailey Ober. I really do like Bailey Ober. I think this is probably a game in which the Twins win, but I don't know if I can bet against the Red Sox as of right now. This Twins team has been struggling. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They lose game 1 in this series, and you'd be like, okay, well, that's 4 of the last 5. They're probably playing a tough team, right? No, they lost 3 of 4 against Detroit. So I don't necessarily think that they are rocking and rolling. The only thing, like I said, is Bailey Ober is on the mound. He has stayed consistent. So I'm going to lean towards the Twins, but I think the Red Sox can win this game. I know you guys don't like hate. I know you hate when I come on here and I'm like, both sides kind of make sense. But guys, that is why I'm telling you I'm transparent as anything, because I'm like, I don't want to give you bad advice or anything. It's like Bailey Ober is cooking. The Twins are not. That's where the confusion is. So I'm going to lean towards the Twins, but this Red Sox team can certainly come out there and win it. For plus 120, they probably have the value side as well. So I know that's confusing as all hell. You probably hate me for one game's pick, but it is what it is, guys. In terms of the total, I do like the over 8.5 here, just because if this Red Sox lineup is going to kind of get hot, and when they have 15 runs, 6 runs, 4 runs, which isn't that great, and then 9 runs scored in the last 4 games here, they've been hot. If that's going to happen, that's going to be like a little flashback to what happened at the beginning of the year when a bunch of runs were being scored. So that's what I think is going to start happening here. I'm going to lean towards the over as well as taking a peek at the Twins. But like I said, those Red Sox are scaring me right now. And I'm a Red Sox fan, so I'm leaning against them, but kind of well aware of what they can do in terms of their capabilities. All right, Diamondbacks, Brewers. Diamondbacks are underdogs in this one. That's where our lean goes right away. They win game 1 of this series 9-1. On the mound for the Brewers is Colin Rea, 3-4 with a 4.71 ERA. Ryan Nelson on the mound for the Diamondbacks, 3-4 with a 5.3 ERA. He's coming off of a really bad start, but the 2 starts before that actually weren't all that terrible. And Rea is coming off of a bad start as well. So I kind of look at like that evens is out. And the fact that you can get plus 105 odds over on DraftKings for an Arizona team that's won 3 of their last 4, 6 of their last 10, against a Milwaukee team that has definitely been struggling, I do think the value is there. Milwaukee's coming off of obviously they haven't had the toughest schedule, and they're just on the decline for so long. Like I think it started pretty much, you can kind of notice it when they lost or they got swept by Oakland. It's like, what's going on here? They could bounce back, 2 series later and sweep Pittsburgh, but now they're off to another bad series. And this is a team that has been going in chunks. They lose a bunch of games and then they'll win like 3 or 4 in a row. Then they lose a bunch of games and they win 3 and 4 in a row. So I'm thinking that they stick in that sort of trend, and Arizona has an underdog upset victory today. In terms of the total 9 runs, I think it is a little too high, because I don't think Arizona's going to give you 9 runs today, and Milwaukee's offense has been pretty, consistently 2 to 4 runs over the last 10, or actually even more than that so far. So I think this one's going to be more or less like a 4-2, 5-2 type finish, sitting well under that mark. All right, guys, if you're still watching at the 18-minute mark here, make sure to go ahead and drop 18 in the comments. Let me see who the OGs that are making it through the video are. We are not feeling, I might be coming down with allergies, cold or something, because this is I'm all like stuff up everywhere, but we're still getting the video out. Hopefully you guys couldn't tell until I say that, but now maybe feel like, hey, the energy's off. Now I'm explaining it to you, but go ahead, drop 18 in the comments, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, and if you have not yet as well. But yeah, if you're still watching, you are a real one. Drop that 18. Let's jump into the next game. We got the White Sox taking on Texas. Texas gets the 5-2 win yesterday. We have Dylan Cease on the mound for the White Sox, but Nathan Eovaldi on the mound for the Rangers. I do think that I've obviously, I've talked highly of Dylan Cease in the past on this channel. I like to call him Dylan Cease, even though it's not his name, but I do still think that this is a Ranger spot. Nathan Eovaldi is absolutely dealing 9-2 this season with a 2.59 ERA, coming off of a loss in which he really didn't even pitch all that poorly against the Angels. 7 innings pitched, a 1 flat whip, right? Only 3 earned runs, 9 Ks, but he only got 3 runs, or actually a couple runs of run support there. So kind of tough there. I don't think that, you're looking at him saying, okay, well, he's not getting the job done. He's doing his job. So I like the fact that he can counter Cease today, because this White Sox team has been struggling. They've only won, 1 game in their last 5 here. They only won 3 of their last 10. Now, they've played some decent competition. I can give them that credit. But, yeah, when Nathan Eovaldi's on the mound and you're getting decent odds for the Rangers, minus 125 right now over on MGM, give me that all day long. My confusion in this game comes from the total, because I do think that this Texas team always has a chance of going and just hitting it over themselves, but you do have 2 really, really good pitchers on the mound, 2 teams' aces on the mound today. So I'm going to lean towards the under. I don't think that makes it into the final play, because, again, it makes too much sense to me that Texas could go out there and just score 12 runs themselves like they've done plenty of times this season. But logically, numbers-wise, both these pitchers' ERAs, recent starts, all that stuff, looks like it should be an under, but that Texas offense is an absolute X factor. All right, have you guys heard of Daily Grind Fantasy? If not, I'm going to tell you guys right about it right now. DGF, guys, I've been using this for over a year. If you followed me on TikTok or Instagram Reels, you know that we use this all the time. But what it is very, very cool. It goes through and looks at all the prize pick slips, or any of your other, DFS player prop apps that we like to talk about and do slips for as well, because it's all about value in this industry. But it goes through and looks at what the prize picks line is, as well as where sportsbooks have it. And then you get all of the major sportsbooks odds. If it's a higher negative number, more of a negative number, it means sportsbooks actually think it's more likely to hit, and it also gives you a mathematical percent odds to hit over here as well. So you can go and look through and say, okay, what has the value? And also, if you do want to bet in sort of a plus EV type of format, you could see what you need to do here in terms of, just being able to build a slip right from this. So if you want a 2-pick power play and there's none, okay, bummer. Let's go check some other apps. We can go ahead and click the Jock Market app, and we can say, okay, let's look at, I guess we'll go towards a 3-pick insured slip. Nothing. Okay. Maybe a 5-pick non-insured. Nothing. A 5-pick insured. Boom. We found the value here. These are all picks that are, I guess percent odds to hit wise, good enough to throw into a 5-pick insured slip mathematically. And if you do this enough over time, you should be profitable in the long run. So I know that's a long way of going about it, but pretty much, guys, what it does, it looks at all of the sportsbooks odds as well as the lines they're offering. So you know the value you have going into your prize pick slips, your house advantage slips, your Jock Market slips, etc., etc. Definitely go check it out. I've been using this, like I said, for over a year now. I use it every single day to start my DFS and player prop research analysis. So make sure to go check that out, guys. Let's go ahead and get back to the last 3 games on today's slate. And we're starting it off with the Astros taking on the Mets in this one here. Astros coming off of a tough loss yesterday. I didn't see this coming. I could be completely honest. I would have thought that, the Astros actually would have taken the win yesterday, but you did have Max Scherzer on the mound, so we can give a little bit of credit to the Mets there. That final score, by the way, was 11-1. Today, Houston again favored in the minus 130s right now on the money line. Total is sitting at 7.5 runs. I do lean towards the over. The Mets offense clearly seems to be cooking. Let's go and have Houston score at least more than 1 run. I think we'll be looking at a little bit of an over here, even with good pitching on the mound. Framber Valdez on the mound for the Astros, and then Justin Verlander on the mound for the Mets. I still think you can hit 8 runs here with 2 pitchers going out there and pitching well. So I'm going to lean towards Houston in a bounce back spot, but my real play is going to be on the over in this game. Right now on FanDuel, that's even odds as well, so some good value on the over too. All right, Giants taking on the Padres. Giants are absolutely red hot here. They have won 8 straight games against some good teams too. But I do think that maybe that comes to a halt today. I'm actually going to lean towards the Padres to kind of ruin this Giants parade. Seth Lugo on the mound for him, 3-3 with a 4.1 ERA. Del Scafani on the mound for the Giants, 4-6 with a 4.31 ERA. Yeah, I hate to rain on, the San Francisco parade that people, clearly have jumped on board and like what this team is doing. But I do think that this gets, comes to a halt today. So I'm leaning towards the Padres on the money line. In terms of the total 8.5 runs, I think this one actually does go up and over. This Giants team has been scoring a bunch of runs, and I don't think that's going to stop today. Now, do they go out there and score 15 like they did a couple games ago? No, but they're still giving you, like in their last, I have it up in front of me, in their last 6 games, the lowest amount of runs they've scored is 7 runs. They are doing it. They're doing the damn thing. But I think the Padres bounce back and put up, a 6-7 spot today against Del Scafani. So I do think this is going to be a high-scoring game, meaning I'm leaning towards that over 8.5 as well. In terms of, why I think this Giants team, it's almost just because I'm kind of predicting the regression here. I don't want everyone to get into it being like, well, you don't think they're good? No, they're a good team. I don't want it to come across as like they're not good enough to be doing this. I do still think that this isn't a 9-win-in-a-row type ball club. Coming off a game yesterday in which, they win 7-4. I think the Padres learn a little bit and they go out there and get the win today. So I don't want to make it sound like I said, raining on the Giants fans parade. No, like I could see why they've gotten this win streak. Good for them. Kudos on them. I just think that this is where it comes to an end, just because I'm predicting that they kind of return back down to earth today. Not that they go out there and stink it up and then they lose every game for the rest of the season, all right? All right, we got LA playing LA here. On the mound for LA, the Angels, we have Reed Dietmers. He's 1-5 with a 4.48 ERA, and Clayton Kershaw on the mound for the Dodgers, which is a little puzzling to me because the Dodgers are only -145. So there's a big pitching discrepancy here. And honestly, I would say a team discrepancy. Now, the Dodgers have lost 3 straight games, but they were kind of a product of this San Francisco win streak that we just talked about. The Angels take 2 of 3 against Kansas City. They did take 3 of 4 against Texas, which was probably where I would give them the most credit as of late, all right? But nonetheless, I think this Dodgers team is waiting for a situation to get back on track. They just have not done it this season. If I were to tell you that the Angels are going to have a better record than the Dodgers at this point, I don't know if people would believe me, but that's what's happening now. But I do think this is a good spot for the Dodgers, so I'm going to lean towards them. -145, a little bit of juice, but I think it's a way better team. But I could get egg on my face here because I'm okay to admit, yes, I think the Dodgers are a way better team, but there's a right answer to who's been playing better baseball, and that's the Angels. So hopefully it doesn't burn us there. In terms of the total 9 runs, I think this one does go up and over. Dodgers, if they're going to win this game, they have to go out there and explode offensively. I think this Angels bats, they've actually been playing pretty well. They have a floor of, I would say, like 3 runs right now, which isn't that great, but their ceiling is north of 9-10 runs type of thing. So I'm not saying they go out there and do that today, but that's still some hot bats. So I'm going to lean towards the over 9 runs here, ever so slightly, but I do think it's a good spot for the Dodgers to bounce back. And that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like I said, not a little congested, allergies, something's going on here, so hopefully able to bring the energy, able to bring at least the entertainment for you guys. But yeah, let's go out there and win again today. We've been red hot as of late, so let's keep that up, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.